We will begin with for this. I assume that you got different numbers. Somebody said I went to the website, couldn't find it. Lies. Ta-da! El website es aquí. So, of course. Generally speaking, one semester consists of 12 hours in undergrad. So, what is undergrad? Huh? From you have not received a bachelor's degree. Yes, that's undergrad. And what is a graduate student then? Yes, somebody who already has a bachelor's degree and is working on a master's or a doctorate, right? It is good to understand the difference between the two. You need to finish one before the other, and the tuition and the costs are different. Also, the level of education is very different. The majority of students who get a bachelor's degree um, do not go back for a master's or a PhD. A very small amount of people who go through who finish a university go back and get a doctorate. It's just a lot of studying. It's worth it, but it's a lot. So I wanted to compare the prices. Let's use. I think I put it over here because it wouldn't work. What? Where'd it go? That was, I guess it was for my first period, and it wasn't there. But let's assume that that we're using the 12 hours for district residents. I explained that residents and non-residents pay very different tuition fees. If you're even for districts like community colleges, anybody who lives in a district pays a certain amount, and if you're outside of the district, you pay more. Same thing here. Notice how the prices change according to where you are. So right there, that is for district residents. If you live in that district, this is for out of district, and the last one is for out of state or foreign. The more separated you are from the area, the more you pay. Um, so let's pretend that you are from the district and you're going to pay 1181. So that's going to be the cost of tuition for a year. Um, when this is so dumb. He only works when he wants to. It's a love-hate relationship. It's amazing, but then I'm like, ugh. Okay, so it's 100. I mean, 180. What is it? Hello. Oh, it was 1181 for one semester, right? So 1181 for one semester in tuition and fees. I don't see any room and board in that one, and I don't see any books or other. Um, but if we were to do that, then what would we do to figure out how much it's going to cost you for 2 years? By four, because this is only one semester, right? So that will give me the tuition and fees. 4, 32, carry 3, 7, and 4. So 4,724. That will be that. If you live in that area, then you probably just live at home and you don't have to pay room and board. Room and board is literally living on the campus and then the eating. And the books are really expensive, but generally, if you're at a community college, they're not that bad. Others would be like transportation, parking, all that stuff. This one doesn't have the information that I wanted. I don't know why the book did it. I figured it would have that information, but it doesn't. I just wanted to give you an idea of what you need to look for when you consider going to college, which all of you are, right? Yes? All right, I'm gonna go find you in 4 years. If you're not in college, I'll be really mad. 5 years. 5. All right. So this is Corpus Christi. If I go and look at Dallas County community colleges, Tuition and fees are very different for them, and that's where I went for my associates. When I finished my first, the basics, which is basically all the whatever you take in high school, but advanced. Um, D, costs. No, they don't suck. They're good. What will it cost? I'm telling you, yes. Okay, so there he goes. It tells you the cost of attendance. Basically, it's everything includes tuition and whatever else you need. No. Here it goes. Uh, in district on campus. What does it mean? It's not apply. Okay, I don't know. Oh, in district. So it says on campus because that means that you live on campus. But this is a community college. They don't have dorms, so you always live at home. Uh, what is wrong with this thing? There. All right. So, in district, if you live in the district, Dallas area, and you live with your parents, the tuition and fees for it's 1 semester, it would be 1665. If you divide that by 12 hours, it's about a little bit over $100 per hour. That's pretty cheap. I'll show you in a minute what that is in different to other places. Off campus is the same thing as with parents. Out of district, it's almost double. So if you live in Fort Worth, you want to go to Dallas County, you pay almost double. Out of state or international, look at it, $4,000, even more. So books and supplies, not too bad, $2,000, and that is an exaggeration in a way because you can buy used books, which cost a lot less than buying them new. Room and board, that's the cost of living, just having an apartment and all that stuff. That's what it would be. Transportation, 972, just going to the college depending on where they are. Personal miscellaneous, another thing. So you end up paying about $9,000 per semester, maybe a year. I think it's just for a year. Where is that? Where does it say that? Oh, for the whole no, this is for 15 credit hours each for oh yeah. So that's for the whole year. That's pretty cheap. Because 15 credit hours in each semester, that's 30 credit hours the entire year. That's really good. 15 credit hours is about 5 classes per semester. So that's 10 classes total. For that much in tuition, that's really cheap. Watch this one. This is where I actually go. Yes. Tuition and fees for I believe this is probably 1 year. For 1 year, tuition and fees is $48,000 compared to 1,600. No, that's for undergrads. It's the same thing for graduates, but I have a grant. Um, and then housing is $10,000. Dining is $5,000. Books, $1,000. So every year you would pay $64,000 to go to college at SMU. That's 4 years that you have to go. So it's a little bit over 200,000 to go there for your bachelor's. It is really expensive because it's a private university. If it was a public university, then it would be a little different. Probably more, a lot more. These are the ones that the scholarships and grants that you can get. The federal ones are up 4 million, state 3 million, SMU need 25 million. Academic base, look at that, $61 million for academic base. What does that mean? Not athletic. I said academic. Yes, if you have one of the top performing students in your class or just overall, you are more likely to get that scholarship. So if you stay on that path where you are now, where you're in pre-AP and start working like a pre-AP, then you should be fine. There's a very high chance that you're going to get scholarships. As you can tell, tuition is very, very costly. So this is probably one of my favorite things to talk about because it's one of the main reasons why I wanted to teach, just to motivate my kids to get to college and show them that you can, regardless where you come from. You're not gonna get all of them. You usually get a couple, if not maybe one, if you get one. It's not very easy because it's very competitive. Uh, but there's hundreds of people, thousands of people who apply to go to these institutions. There was another college that that's at UT, I believe. Yes, University of Texas in Austin. Undergraduate, the tuition ranges from $4,000 to $6,000. So that'll be about $10,000 a year. Consider that. Compare that. This is UT, one of the best ones in the state. UT costs $10,000 in tuition for 1 year, whereas SMU is 64. Well, it's not. It was 48, right, for 1 year. There's a huge difference. So it depends where you want to go and admission, of course, and what you do to get in there. All right. Because a lot of the costs are lowered for our own kids. If you're donating money in your neighborhood, you don't wouldn't want somebody from another neighborhood to come and get it, right? No. Yes. What is that? And that. In Dallas, probably. But we have a few other private universities. UT? No, it was 10,000 per year. Where did we stop? I think we're done with this. Hang on. All right, so we cover college costs and tuition. You're gonna see that on the test, probably. Well, most likely you will. And I want you to understand just the difference between tuition, room and board, uh, books, other expenses. Basically, those are the types of different costs that you're gonna have for college, and then the ways that you can pay for them, which is through scholarships, grants, um, and the one that I don't like the most, which is loans. Stay away from loans. Whatever you do, stay away from loans unless it's the last thing, the last resource, then get a loan. But apply for every scholarship you can think of, apply for every grant you can think of, but stay away from loans. Yes. Huh? A grant is like a particular amount of money that is given to particular students, but it can only be used for academics. So, for example, it can be used only for tuition. It'll cover tuition. Whereas a scholarship, it can be in the form of a check. They give you a check. I used to get a check for my scholarship, and I can use it for anything. I cash it, and then it's my money. I will pay my tuition. I will pay all my books, but then whatever was left, it was for me. So most of the time, I will buy the very, very cheap books, the used ones, and I will end up with a lot of money in my pocket. Smart, yes. um, do I? No, scholarship you don't have to pay back, and grants you do not have to pay back either. The only one that you do have to pay back is loans. Do not get loans. Now, let me explain something very quickly before I move on. Not that you see them on the test, but if you were born here, you have a much higher chance of getting a scholarship. The problem is not that you don't get it, is that you don't apply. Most kids don't apply for them. There are so many scholarships directly, specifically designed for Hispanic students, African American students, or students that come from very low income places. All you have to do is apply for them. So, what is one way that you can reduce your cost of college besides the scholarships and grants? And yeah, well, you can some, yeah, but those are for different things. I'm talking about for college is usually as soon as you get in there, but you have to apply like a year before. You can start saving up. Yeah, if you save up, starting now and tell your parents, hey, I really want to go to college. I want to go to this college. And they get an idea. If they watch you while you're going through online and looking at all these colleges, it's very exciting for them that at this age, you're already looking through different colleges and seeing which one you like the most. Most kids have a very strong passion for a particular one, and they want to go to it, and they end up going there, and it's like a life experience. You never actually forget about it. That is your thing. That is the first time in your life where you're actually independent. You're out of the house, and you're living your life separately while working on it. Yes. You have to look it up, but there are different programs. When we looked at UT, it had programs for architecture, for business, for law, for education, for different things, and every program costs differently. So I would say just Google it, find out how much it costs, and going back to my question, what can you do in high school to reduce the cost of college? Yes. Get the right credits by doing what? Yes. That part's me, oh yeah, but you're still paying for it. I'm talking about you don't want to pay for it. Yes. Go to early college. You can go to early college or go to magnet school. Magnet schools have dual credit. So what you take in high school counts for college. By the time you're done, you already finished the two years of college, meaning you only have two left. Yes. I'm sorry? SEM? STEM? No, yes, Booker T, Skyline, Townview. Townview has several schools in there. Townview is a center. It has several schools in there that you can apply for, not just one. Whereas Booker T is just basically for the arts, and then Skyline is only for one thing. Mountain View or Central, those are early colleges. You can early high, yeah, early college, high school, which basically you are getting your high school stuff, but at the same time you're learning college stuff. Yes, but El Centro Early College is in front of El Centro. They're not in the same building. They used to be, but now they're separate because it grew so much. So you have your own building of high school kids, and you get to interact because sometimes you take classes inside the college campus, so you are always crossing paths with college students, which is a great experience because you get to talk to them and see how life is after you finish high school. Which, by the way, by the time you're already a senior, you already took so many college courses that you already know what it is like. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, I wonder how college is going to be like. You already been exposed to it. So it feels natural and normal for you to just continue on and finish whatever you have to finish. So I highly advise you next year is your eighth grade, and I'm glad that I have you now because next year you can really plan for it. You can really do everything you need to do in your classes to get the highest grades possible so you can get into those schools because you cannot get in them unless you have really good grades. So stay on it. Next year, get the best of the best, get the highest scores you can, and by the time you finish, you have almost a guarantee that you're gonna get into one of those magnets or the early colleges. When once you're in there, once you're in those programs, it's like a straight path. It's almost impossible for you to drop out or not stay on that straight path because everyone around you is at the same level as you are. They push each other. All right, so enough about that. It's good to talk about it. Um, so for this one, we're gonna go over these and just tell me how would you solve each of them. Number one, which label or labels could represent A in the diagram below? Look at it. I'll give you about 2 seconds. One, two. I'm just kidding. Come on, look at it. Where do you think it belongs? Of course. What do you think it is? Rational numbers or integers? Does that make sense? It could. So if we went back over here, I think I had it written down there. We have real numbers on top, which is the biggest umbrella, right? And on the real numbers, we have irrational, and then we have rationals. And irrational, we have all these crazy ones, square root of 7, and pi, and then 22 over 7, and tau, which you probably never see. Um, and then for rational numbers, you have right under it, we have integers. Right under integers, we have whole numbers. And then under whole numbers, we have counting and natural numbers, right? So you see whole numbers and you see real numbers. So it must be between one of those two, right? It must be rational numbers or integers. So it'll be letter B. Uh, Number two, between which two integers does the value square root of 88 lie? Um, Thank you for those of you who are already looking through your calculators and trying to figure it out. See? Why? By looking at it, why? And perfect. So 9 times 9 is 81. 10 times 10 is 100. 88 is right between those two, right? Good job. Good. Uh, James wrote the numbers, blah, 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 in scientific notation. Which numbers did he write? Can you eliminate any of them? Why? They're negative, right? The zeros are at the end, not behind it, right? And what else? Why can you eliminate C? C? Because yes, because the decimal goes after the first number every single time. And this right here, you have two numbers, 89. You can never have that when you're talking about scientific notation. The decimal always goes after the first number. Huh? We did already, yeah. This is a review. We're not learning anything new. Yes, that's the one that Jackson was weighing about. This is it. Yes, I'm gonna post this on Edmodo. You can download it and print it out, or you can just go through it like that. It will come up on your phone too. For your homework, all you have to do is write down the numbers, and then show me the work and the answer. You do not have to write down the question or the problems. Just the number and the work and the answer, and we'll go over all of these. Huh? I'll tell you in a minute at the end. All right, so this one, the gray figure is the image of the black figure after a dilation. Which represents a dilation? So the gray one is the image of that one. What can I eliminate? Are you sure? What is it? Why is it that I can eliminate C and D? Shrink. Perfect. They're not fractions. And as you notice, the dilation is going from big to small, meaning it's shrinking. The only ones that shrink a figure are fractions, right? Numbers smaller than 1. And these two are whole numbers. Whenever you have a scale factor of a whole number, that means the image is expanding. If you have a scale factor of a fraction or less than a decimal, less than a 1, it'll shrink. Yeah. I just explained it. Dilation is going from the black figure to the gray figure. So if it's shrinking, then it has to be a fraction or a small number, right? Anything? No, it just said the figure is the image of the black figure. Image, pre-image. Remember that. So now that we eliminated C and D, how can you figure out which one it is? A coordinate point. So let's say that this point right here is 4 and this point is 8, right? So what happened? No, we said that a scale factor cannot be a whole number because we went down. We multiply by half. We multiply by half, right? Because every time that you shrink, you're multiplying by a fraction. So that means it went half. What do we letter B? I like that this guy's barely taking notes, like on the very last week.
You get like things from the past, and then you forget them once you do new things. That's how I.
Sure. I think you just want to pass now. He barely woke up. He's like, I think I need to pass. Okay. The length is in centimeters of a 4-line segment are shown below. Which list shows from least to greatest? You might have to do some calculations over here. Well, the square root of 10 needs calculations. You need to know exactly what it is. Careful. Least to greatest. 3.1? So which one is it? What? 16,000? Oh. So it would be, right? 3.12, 316, 324, and then 325, right? Good. That shouldn't be difficult, right? All right. This one is the word problem that I told you about that you will not see a picture. You have to actually understand the rules of dilation. A figure is dilated by a factor of 2. What do I know so far? It's expanding, right? Because we're using a whole number that is bigger than 1. So yes, which statement about the dimensions of the image is true? First of all, before I move on, if I have a scale factor of 2, what does that mean about my image? Besides that it's expanding. It doubles, right? You multiply on every side by 2. What doubles though? The perimeter, not the area. Remember I showed you that last time when I have the area of one and the area of the other one, it is completely different. That you don't multiply by 2. So, for example, if I had an image like, not like that. Exactly. If you have an image like this, for example, and then I multiply this by 2, then I will get 6, right, on each side. Then you can agree that the perimeter, 3, 3, 3, 3, this is 12, will double. This should be 24, right? 6, 6, 6, 6, 24. So yes, the scale factor expands the perimeter as well. But look at the area. Can you double 9 and get whatever the area of the other one is? No. What do you do to the scale factor to get the area of the other one? The scale factor is 2. This is 9, right? This is 36. What do I have to do to get to that? By 4? So what does that mean I have to do with the scale factor? We went over this. I can see. I'm not hearing it. I want you to connect the concept of area. How do we measure area? Square it. Thank you. If you square the scale factor of 2, which is what? 4, multiply it by this one, it'll give you the answer of the next area. So when you use the scale factor, the sides, the perimeter will expand by the scale factor, but the area needs to be the square of the scale factor, whatever it might be. So now that we know that, or that we remember that, which one do you think is the right answer? The first one says the perimeter of the original figure is multiplied by 4. Is that right? No. It's multiplied by what? By 2. So A is wrong. The perimeter and area of the original figure are doubled. No, we just said that the area does not double. The perimeter of the original figure is multiplied by 4. We already know that's not right. So it has to be D. The perimeter of the original figure doubles. Yes, we know that. Multiplied by 2. And the area is multiplied by 4 because it's 2 squared. Good. All right, the points A, B, C, D, and A, B, C, and D all lie in the line x equals y equals x. And I calculated the slopes of A to B and C to D. What can we conclude? The slopes are all the same. The slope of A and B is greater than the slope of C and D. The slope of C and D is greater than A and B, and the slopes of A and B and C and B are negative. What can you say? Why is it that it's A? How do you find the slope? There is a keyword in there. You can do that. There's a keyword. First of all, you can graph it. So if you were to graph it, you can just grab this image right here, whatever is close to you. Find one that is the neighbor and plot it. And then you can go and say, well, it has to be that one, and then 2 and 2, 3 and 3, and 5 and 5, right? And that's one of them. You can tell they all are in the same line. But then the problem actually told you that they all lie in the same line, right? That means that they're all in the same exact line. The whole line has the same slope. Therefore, The slopes of all those points are the same. That's it. So it has to be A. None of the slopes are bigger than any other because they're all on the same line. If I go back to my thing over here, the slope of this line, isn't it the same for all the points? Yes. So you have ways that you can do it by either plotting it or just thinking about what they're talking about, which is said they're all on the same line. And that alone tells me they have the same slope. You have 2 pages of graph paper on the test. At the very beginning, use them. I advise you to use them. All right. What is the slope of the line described by the data? How can you figure that out? Exactly. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So I'm going to get Y2 to be 18 and then Y1 to be 8. So what is 18 minus 8? 10. And then X2 will be 5 and then X1 will be 1. So what is 5 minus 1? So you get 10 over 4, which if you reduce is 10 over 4. Simplified is 5 over 2. Is that one of our answers? Yep. Letter D, right? Do not forget that. Please do not forget that. Y2 minus Y1 over whether, yes, it'll be this one. Whatever we have left. No, I'll tell you that later. I'm trying to make sure you understand this part. Even if it's proportional or non-proportional, that will work. That will always work. So always use that. Which equation shows the relationship in the table below? What? So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 11 is 22. Perfect. Good. You see it? All you have to do is plug in the numbers, right? And it should give you the answer. All right, number 10. Which of the following is the equation of the line graphed below? What do you do first? Huh? Find B, right? So the y-intercept is what? 3. Can you eliminate any of them? You can eliminate B and D, and now you have A and C. Now, how do I figure out what the slope is? Rise of a run, right? Find 2 points that are connected. So point 3 and point right here, 2 and 3. So you can go right from here. I cannot believe this thing messed up on a day that I need it. I have to redo it. So I can use this point, or you can actually use that point right there and this one. So the rise will be 1, 2, and the run will be 1 to the left, right? So it's 2 over negative 1, which is what? Right there. If I had used the point over here, that would have still worked. It would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, negative 2. When you simplify it, it gives you negative 2. I don't care which 2 points you use, as long as they are crossing the x and y axis like these right here. This one doesn't cross anything. You see that? I shouldn't have to go over this. You should know this by now, right? The next one, Tanya analyzed the relationship between student test scores and the number of hours studied. She calculated the trend line to be y equals 6.8x plus 60, where x is the number of hours studied and y is the score. Which is the closest to the score of a student who studied 3 hours? How do you figure it out? What can you do? Because is it closest? Not exactly. What can you do without using a calculator? How do you estimate right here? Okay, so 7, and then what do you do with it? The what? Oh, I'm sorry, but go ahead. Think about it. What you can, but they want an estimate, right? So you can use you do it without calculator. What you said? 80. So And what is 7 times 3? 21 plus 60? 81. So it's closer to 80, right? Because you round it. So that means it has to be a little less. That's it. You didn't have to calculate anything else. Oh, well, I should work on my English. The next one. Which of the following graphs shows a linear relationship? Hey, why are the other ones not linear? They're curved and weird and looking like a snake. Okay. Annabelle's total pay varies directly with the number of hours she works. If she works 4 hours, she earns $100. How much does Annabelle earn if she works 6 hours? So you basically found the unit rate. Dividing 100 by 4, you get 24, right? 24 times 6? I mean 25. 25 times 6? 150. That's it. It's pretty easy. All right. No, but I don't know how it's going to be like. It's the first year that they're doing it differently. But I'm just doing so you can remember everything we did last semester. I want to refresh your memory so you're ready for it. Yes, boy. Were you asleep last semester too? What? Next week. Tuesday. All right, the next one. Which of the following equations represents a proportional relationship? Which one represents a proportional relationship? C? Why is it A? There is no B. What is C? What will make it is a fraction. But I mean C has no B, but and neither does A. A proportional relationship doesn't have any B, right? But I don't see B on C. Why is it that he has that? It's because over X, that's why. That's not why. It's because over X, it's 3 over X. It's over. Do you have an X as the denominator? Yeah, if you have X at the top, that's fine. But you don't, you have over X. So you multiply by something else. All right. Which of the following tables represents a function? How do I know what things are a function? So when X doesn't repeat, right? On this one, number one, letter A, 1 repeats. On B, the 2 repeats. And on D, the 1 repeats again. So on C, it doesn't repeat, right? I'm sorry, B, nothing repeats. It's negative 1, 1, 4, and 5. Oh, calm down, crazy kids. Now, we're actually finishing your homework if you can just stop. Somebody's mad. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Oh, rude. Okay. Kenneth graphed the triangle ABC prime by dilating triangle ABC. Which of the following must be true? The ratios of the corresponding sides are proportional. Is that true? Let's keep reading. The area of ABC is greater than the area of ABC. Okay. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ABC prime.
No.
False. Triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle. You don't know that, do you? It's like this. 2 sides are equal. So which one has to be true for sure? Huh?
No, because it can be multiplied by a fraction.
You think B is true?
No, because
Say what? What did you say? Yeah. That's exactly right, because when you dilate, you either expand or shrink. That means that the image could be bigger or it could be smaller. So we know that D is not right. We don't know what it looks like. But also, not only that, You can actually dilate a figure using a scale factor of 1 and the area is the same, right? It has to be A. The ratio, meaning the number that you're multiplying the sides by, has to be the same, right? So the answer is A. Please be careful with these. If you have to draw, do that. Do that, okay? Uh, Here's what I want you to do. You will do number 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. For those of you who were in my first period, I did a lot of them for you because we didn't do that many in the first period. So I think this is a fair amount of homework, right? All you have to do is write down the number, do the work, give me the answer, and bring it to class. If, listen carefully, if you have a question that because you don't get a particular question, I want you to do the following. This is for extra credit. Pose the question that you do not get, and whoever answers to that person, giving them instruction on how to solve it, I will give you extra credit. So, like, for example, Edgar asked, I don't know how to do number 25. Can somebody help me? I really don't get it. And then Tabaria answers, this is how you do it. You do this, you do this, you do this. Without giving him the answer, then I'll give her extra credit and I'll give you extra credit for asking. How's that? Yeah, yeah. What?